before Starfield came out? Damn. The launch in the first 2 to 3 days? Damn. The post-Starfield, post-2-hour Steam refund window? Oh, hell. However, I like Starfield. A lot of people say that my brains is broken, but I like Starfield. There were 2 main criticisms, at least that I could see. The first one being the writing. But let's be real, let's not pretend that the writing is a new issue. Yes, I find it weird that right at the start of the game when you meet Barrett, he's like, "Hey, nice cock. Here's the keys to my spaceship. Try not to leave skid marks on the pilot's seat." Now, the second criticism was that there's nothing to do in Starfield. There's no content. Straight up, that empty worlds are boring. But who could possibly have this point of view? When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there, and they certainly weren't bored. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke... But you know what might fix this feeling of not having enough content? More content. As in DLC. And I mean more content outside of holding my favorite character, Uncle Fardenpoopen's enormous ass in Sarah Morgan's face, observing the subtleties of her reactions in photo mode. So at any spaceport, we can speak to a ship services tech about getting a new vehicle, the Rev 8, which is the only vehicle on the market in the entire universe. But for 25,000 credits, that's a steal. However, I do not have 25,000 credits. Not a big deal though. I've been here before. I waddle down to the well in the UC surplus store. I sell my high-tech spacesuit because spacesuits are overrated in Starfield. The devoted shop owner will watch on as this enormous Italian man vanishes behind a crate and all of his wares on the walls and nearby shelves vanish into thin air. This is extra amusing because there are moments where the AI seems to be aware that it's being robbed but hasn't caught me yet and as such just sort of stares at me in contempt. A complete and published guide for instant loot in Starfield. Tried and tested. Bethesda. Riches. A small loan of $1 million. We sell everything to the Trade Authority for 25,000 credits all in one go because that is now a toggleable option in the settings. That all traders have heaps of money as opposed to like 200 credits and a bitten sandwich. And that's also a cool thing. You can toggle on like needing food and water and you can sustain yourself entirely on beer and butter, which is, you know, I do that. I do that a lot in this. That's how Fardenpoopen became this way. So I quit game to do other things for a while, and when I return, Uncle Fardenpoopen is skinny, and I have to get him body type affirming surgery to turn him back into his glorious self. Is this a glitch? Is it his metabolism? Perhaps his diet of cigarettes and ravioli? Whiskey? You decide. But one thing's for certain, it's pretty Bethesda, not gonna lie. Like, I haven't played in a while, I didn't experience this glitch before, but you know... here we are. We purchased the Rev 8. We make the Rev 8 brown like coffee. This is Uncle Fardenpoopen's favorite drink, food, and also fragrance. This sparks joy. And it's time to give this thing a spin and see what Bethesda have cooked up for us. She'll be alright. Oops. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. It flies? Alright, she's angry with me. Time to F9. This is so cool. I'm actually so hyped to see what I can do with this thing. I'm real... Oh, I see. I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. All I know is I must drive. This is somehow exactly how I thought this would go. It actually kind of reminds me of that one Skyrim horse glitch where it just sort of starts floating away for no reason. Like, you get on it and it just flies you into the sky. Confirming my suspicion, in fact, this car is, for all intents and purposes, a Skyrim horse. My apologies. Excuse me, ma'am.
I can assure you this unprovoked attack on a United Colonies research facility will get you settled into your new assignments as soon as possible. For you, Bobby, that includes meeting your new foster parent.
My parents aren't dead.
Oh! Well, of course, that's sure possible. We'll just...
Helena Chambers, IDSS.
Look, Bethesda could have made the Rev 8 not available in the cities and locked it to exploration only to avoid things like the complete lack of acknowledgement of using the vehicle in the first place. And I'm a big supporter of allowing players to break systems and exploit things for fun. Basically, the less restrictions, the better. You know, there are some devs out there that take fun and they police it, like Activision Blizzard. You know, no fun allowed. Breast milk gaming, am I right? And, I made some observations. There appears to be a threshold between knocking people over and people taking damage when you knock them over. Obviously, this means you can knock people over and the authorities will not be mad at you so long as no damage is sustained. I call this the Goldilocks zone. Within this Goldilocks zone of traffic violations, if you will, I learned pretty early on that the children in Starfield, much like in other Bethesda titles, do not take damage. And I figured if the car can be used to push adults around, but you can absolutely punt a child fair distances, consequence-free, I can probably put some people in some pretty compromising situations, and the only kid in Jemison is Bobby. Recently orphaned Bobby. Bobby who looks like a 45-year-old divorced mom. Thusly, I bring to you the Bobby % run of Starfield. Basically, my goal is to get Bobbert outside the confines of the city, into the alien wilderness to just ruin his day. You know, really hand him the lemons. The only problem is Jemison was built with safety laws in mind, boo, and if you actually observe the surrounding area, it is walled off probably to intentionally prevent the alien hostile life from making its way into the city and massacring everything. But near the tram, we have an enormous cliff face leading down into the absolute worst green-looking alien bacteria-infested reservoir that possibly the entire city's wastewater is being pumped into. As such, I'll be plunging Bulbous into it by slamming the Rev 8 into him repeatedly. Now, the beginning of the run? Not that bad. The challenge is knocking Blorby out of the group of adults standing around without getting a bounty for doing any damage to them. Once that's done, you're fairly home free on pushing him out of the spaceport, so long as you can avoid getting him caught on the walls or on the bollards near the exit of the spaceport. Now, I don't know why this is so difficult, but pushing him any further than the top of the ramp at the spaceport was really tough. From what I could deduce, there appears to be like an upper limit to how far you can push an NPC from their original position, because the further you get away from said position, the distance you're able to push them in one go has like diminishing returns. They start to feel more like a solid object and less like a slippery fish or something. I don't know. It's most observable when you're in third person. You can actually see that Bobby is being turned into an immovable object, and Uncle Fardenpooben is simply wobbling around in the front seat for no reason. My workaround for this is to do a short nudge followed by a jet-boosted knockdown that would surely destroy every bone in this small child's body. But I have no time to waste. Bongus was going into that Jemison reservoir whether he liked it or not. Once we're past the spaceport ramp, we have to strategize how best to go about getting Blobby over the barrier and into the reservoir in a timely manner without him getting back to his starting position. After he's blasted us into the sky, of course. So what we do is we park the car on top of him gently until he is secured in place and has no way of escaping, perhaps from one of the front tires caving in his chest cavity, and explore the spaces beyond. Initially I see a gap on the south side of the tram station, but getting Borpulus up and over onto this barrier would require some shoving along the small narrow wall, which would be a very difficult thing to do. I'm pinning my lack of observation on Uncle Fardenpooben, who we'll say is consumed too much whiskey before driving over Poppy and attempting this, before I find another gap to the north of the tram station. This leads us down into the tram line with a clear gap leading south and a drop straight into the reservoir. So I push him over a sustained period of time that went by quite fast because it was quite fun, all the way north until we encounter our second hurdle. You see, there's the same small wall on the north side as there was on the south side, right before the gap that goes down onto the tram line. Now, if this were Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3, it would be game over. No jump button, no hope. But what we do is we simply absolutely thunder punt Gobby over and over again, using the rocket engine assisted thruster on the back of the Rev 8 to crush him against the wall repeatedly, trapping him with his immortality in a cycle of unrelenting pain until he inevitably goes up and over. We're nearly there, Bobby. Just hold on a little longer, buddy. He tries to escape. I prevent him from escaping. Now, this tram was going to be my 13th reason why, because shoving Nobby past it and over to the other side, where I'd be able to give him the steel chair into the reservoir, was proving to be quite difficult. That's because the car has too much girth and it isn't able to pass underneath the tram and move Bungie at the same time, because he's become an immovable object by this point. So drawing upon the age-old, tried-and-true get-out-of-my-way companion Skyrim strategy, I simply stand in front of him until he takes a step back, and repeat this for enough time until I am able to sprint back to the Rev 8, get it around the tram before Borfus walks underneath it, and back to his original position. This obviously takes a very long time. The pitter-patter of Uncle Fardenpooben's feet. Okay, so this is the easy part. We simply obey all the road rules and traffic laws to shove him over the edge of... Oh no! Uncle Fardenpooben! Ah!
Hi.
Yes, we are quite high, aren't we, boy? Yes, yes. High indeed. Where's he going? Where's he going? I hope you've enjoyed this Bobby Percent run. It was a massive failure time-wise, but the only confirmed world first at this time. So we out here setting records on this Best Guest channel, and you were all here for this. Congratulations to you. I follow Bobby for a time to see where he may end up. You should know that Jemison does not have access from the outside as such, and for as long as I could, I observed him from atop our surprisingly buoyant vehicle, curious as to where he ends up. He swam into a rock for some time, beached onto the alien soil. I watch, as curiously enough, he walks further away from the city. I watch from the Rev 8, but parked on a tree. Sometimes from within view, and he would just push me out of the way. Something was telling me Bobby was going to be just fine. I don't know what happened to Bobby in the end, but I hope he coexists with the alien wildlife of this world, that he become the Mowgli of this planet's Jungle Book. Please comment, Blongy should have drowned in the reservoir. Okay, the next update I want to look at is the Tracker's questline.
And it's better to be on a tracker's good side than their bad side.
A mysterious but deadly bounty hunter, a tracker, will headhunt you for their organization, which is based in Aquila City, and in the best interest of combining updates, we obviously drive the Rev 8 very carefully through the city to get to our destination.
If you think you might be able to help out, you could talk to the marshal.
Oh, is that his leg? Oh my god, his leg is in my engine! Excuse me, apologies, excuse me. Now they say when you arrive in prison, you need to pick on the biggest, baddest person in the room to show people you don't mess around. We're going to apply this logic to joining a dangerous group of people as a new recruit.
What?
A new potential recruit. He's standing
Right here. Yeah. I said I know. I'm aware of his presence, have been since he walked in the door.
I consume all of their alcohol and food that is out. I observe this one guy doing his push-ups in the corner. 0, 0, 0. Dude, your form is horrible.
Hell.
The Starjacker? Our first target is the infamous Star Masturbator? Really? I have to bring in a space wanker for real? Some final preparations, my guy. Then we can head out.
That all you got?
So we have to have Roach with us for the first bounty, because my guy has to observe our performance to see if the initiation goes well. And after speaking to him, he is instantly hostile, which is whack, honestly. I didn't do anything. Also, I'm skinny again, wild. His hostility persists even when we're outside, which is okay. In the lore, this might be part of the initiation, so I just deal with it. And I have to give kudos to Bethesda for this mission, because you're up on the rooftops, you're scanning civilians for your target. It actually really makes you feel like a bounty hunter. But this is pretty tough, considering every time you lose Roach in stealth, being that he's registered as your companion, he immediately sprints towards you and becomes hostile again. And hilariously enough, getting into the Rev 8 will instantly teleport your current companion to be in the passenger seat next to you, meaning he is sitting there idling by the time until I release him so that he can kill me when he gets out. I find our target. I decide it is imperative we repeatedly drop the Rev 8 on him from above until he is deceased. He'll never see it coming. Unfortunately, I am killed in dialogue, and the loading screen of Sarah Morgan's face reacting to the rich aroma of Uncle Fardenpoopen's taint really sums up how I'm feeling about this. So I end up hiding in hopes that Roach and all the city guards will relax while I try to sort us all out. And Andrastos addresses me through the wall, engaging in dialogue to progress the quest. Then the camera pans to Roach, who is also talking to a wall. And it's quite a lot to take in. I'm enjoying this DLC quite a lot. But you see, I've not listened to the dialogue, and this guy isn't the target at all. He's in fact merely the informant we need to find the target, which is a doozy. So I take him to my ship. Roach is still hostile around here somewhere, so time is of the essence. Unfortunately, Roach follows me onto the ship to try and assassinate me in my sleep or something. And sadly, I need to talk to Roach to progress.
That all you got?
Being a big burly Italian man in space, I'm too stubborn to reload saves, so I go into stealth to try and get the jump on him by engaging him in dialogue before he becomes hostile, I guess? But this does not work. I try absolutely everything, but Roach is simply too angry for words.
Your funeral, pal!
Fortunately, this isn't my first kitchen nightmares, so I deal with the Roach by fast traveling to Jemison to sit on this bench, being observed by the locals as if it's weird to run around in underwear and wait for 7 days and 7 nights for the game to unfuck itself. And then we find Roach, who tells us to take a decoy ship to the space station our real target is on. Then I dropped the DLC on him. Now, the last time I played this character in this game, I played it without a spacesuit, and that was absolutely going to be what happens here too. I wasn't going to do my Uncle Fart and Poopy dirty on his legacy, so I make sure to arrive at the chop shop with copious amounts of amp and suitable garments, floating about without assistance, without a boost pack. It is merely the coffee, the testosterone that propels him.
Damn! That one stung!
It's you! It's the Star Masturbator!
Hello, trackers!
You took the joy out of killing the Space Masturbator from me, Roach.
Almost makes it hard to hate him.
So as it turns out, the real Star Jackoff was the informant I had originally been dropping the car on, who escapes in the end. The same guy who, when I wanted to kill him, Roach was like, "Don't do that, that's stupid, we need him." This failure, this mishap, it's all on Roach. So we limp back to Aquila by obeying all the road rules and traffic laws. Speak to the leader, who is delighted by our performance for some reason, and we are brought into the trackers as a full member despite the fact that we failed and Roach is to blame for absolutely everything. I choose the call sign Blitzkrieg because, like, it's deeply amusing to me how out of place a World War II Nazi tactical attack strategy is next to other options like a bear. A bird. And as a full member, I can finally take on the other bounties and progress the storyline. Only you can't. You see, this tracker DLC is more of a framework than anything. If you download it on its own, that's it. It's just the one mission. Which you fail. Made extra frustrating in that, you can actually go and talk to Roach and be like, "Yeah, bruh, I got 0 bounties, how about you?" What do you got?
Bruh, you haven't even started.
But fortunately for me, I looked at the Creation Club and saw that there's actually a second mission. Oh yeah. A quick note about the Creation Club actually. There's a section called the most liked this week. And it's extra weird because if you look at the mods, they're really obscure ones with like 1 like. Kind of weird. And like there's this one that's just a test mod. Most liked of the week? Now I don't know if this is a bug or no one's using these Creation Club mods and liking things because it would be the most Bethesda thing ever if the Creation Club is bugged. So the Vulture. Notorious criminal, the Vulture. Everyone knows him. You know him. I know him. I've known him since a few moments ago when I downloaded my knowledge of him.
Want to learn from the best?
If you're here.
What the hell?
And I'm more determined than ever to drop a car on him. He'll never see it coming. So I drink some beer. I eat a stick of butter, and we're off to go and find this notorious man of great notoriety hiding out in the loading zone beyond my spaceship, which I must now drive to. I am skinny again. I am perfect again. I pop an amp and sprint into this oxygenless atmosphere without a spacesuit. No matter. My masculinity is my spacesuit, you see. There's the target. I'm gonna drop my car on him from the sky. He'll never see it coming.
Well, aren't you a cold-blooded psycho?
And with his instant death, Alexa starts talking to me. Unfortunately, Alexa talks to me for too long and I die mysteriously for no reason. Why has this happened? So I slam the car on him again. And skip the Alexa dialogue this time. This time, hopping out of the vehicle, and with the power of performance-enhancing drugs and caffeine, I sprint back to the ship, avoiding incoming fire from the ambush waiting for me. Now, what I have to do here is clear the ambush and gather information from the bodies and locate our target. And to do that, I use the Rev 8's onboard turret to clear 1 merc at a time, with rests in between so that I do not perish from lack of air, lack of atmosphere, or too much toxic atmosphere. I don't know. Do you think I look like a rocket theorist? I do this to all of them with breaks in between. I do not know why I've decided to do it this way. I guess Uncle Fardenpooben's legacy is really just that important to me and I don't want to see it squandered. You should watch that video, by the way. It's links in the description. With all the bad guys having failed to kill a senior in spandex dropping vehicles on people on alien worlds, we managed to loot the base whereabouts. Unfortunately for me, this base appears to be really far away. My first plan is to see how close I can get to the base on foot. The answer being not that far. Not even halfway, in fact. Second plan, see how far I can get with the Rev 8. Only marginally closer. The third plan is to see if I can make it to a nearby point of interest, fast travel back to the ship to let my health restore. However, I didn't make it far enough to reach any of the POIs in the correct direction. But this does not deter a man such as Uncle Fardenpooben, you see. I drive as far north as I can until I feel as if I'm about to die, then place an outpost beacon, then fast travel back to the ship to recover. What this does is it creates my own point of interest along the way that I can fast travel to and from my ship. And if I build a hab unit there, there's not any reason I have to do the fast traveling, as I can just rest in the hab unit. This plan works wonders, but sometimes I decease in the building phase. Sometimes I hit nothing in the rover and I end up rolling down the mountain. But those times I do manage to make ground and make another outpost, let me tell you, in the immortal words of Todd Howard, it just works. Much like how I end up discovering that I don't need to build a hab unit, just the airlock. As the act of standing in the doorway of an airlock, even with the air not actually locked, the doors are open. I'm able to breathe again. This is a huge success for Uncle Fardenpooben. I make a rush for the hideout in a cave. I had been hoping I could mysteriously breathe in here, like you can in some caves in the game, but I cannot. I spend this time scoping out the place and bursting into man molecules upon death. But on one of these scouting trips, I discovered that we read emails in this cave to discover the next location we have to go to, and if we do that, we can potentially sprint out of the cave and fast travel to safety. But to do that, I must first defeat the 2 mercs outside because in Bethesda games, you can't fast travel if there's enemies nearby, you know? So I go to the cave, box some mercs, sprint back home, sit in my open airlock, and repeat. But it was boxing this merc to death that I came to realize that you can fast travel when in combat. Now, I'm not sure if this was always a thing in Starfield, but it feels weird. Also, so I sprint through their cave hideout. They all wait patiently for me to go through their shared communal laptop and read all of their emails. They then wait patiently as I hack the password to the super encrypted email, which shows me somewhere I can ambush the infamous Vulture by dropping my car on him from the sky. He'll never see it coming. I sprint out of the cave. I fast travel to my ship, and we head off to find our friend the Vulture so I can drop my car on him from the sky. He'll never see it coming.
You're on the wanted list.
I am arrested on entry into Cheyenne. It is what it is. I have a 650 credit fine for punching Roach that one time. That absolute cockroach ratted me out. Now, if that intel the mercs let me read that one time is correct, then the Vulture will be right up on the roof just ahead. There he is. Hold on. We have to hit him from the absolute highest point on the map. I can't get up there, but this should be alright. Alright, let's get a good look at our boy over here. His posture is awful. It's really cool how he's just playing classical music. He's dead. Nice bum. Uncle Fardenpooben, he's dead. For absolute disrespect, he's dead. I'll take the gun though. Alexa, play Despacito.
It was a mistake coming after me, Tracker.
Bitch boy doesn't see me. Hey, you guys know what they say about birds, right? No, really, I was asking you. I'm just winging it. Okay, I'm gonna kill a man now. Ah, the old Bethesda special. Look what you did. Look what you made Bethesda do to my car.
Alright then, Tracker. Round 2!
Wait, did he just die? He just like keeled over and died. Wow. I guess he couldn't handle the old left, right, good night, you know, the old 1-2, stick it in the poo, you know what I mean?
He couldn't handle my swatters.
Anyway, do I think this DLC is good? Yes. Could it be better? Yes. The Tracker's questline feels like it could have been released with like 2 to 3 more bounties available. Like, kind of wild how it didn't. But at the end of the day, it's technically free DLC, seeing as it came from the Creation Club, and they sort of give you the currency to buy it from them without issue. On the upside, I think this means there's potential for flying vehicles one day and a massive set of tracker quests that could easily end up being the best set of quests in the game. Seeing as it appears to be a framework, I guess modders could add bounties to the game, so it could work out good in the long run. Kind of whack relying on modders though, I guess. I'm kind of hyped for the Shattered Space DLC, not gonna lie. If I edit fast enough, it won't be out yet when this video drops. If it is out, I failed you all. Please comment you're a failure, best guest. I'll definitely be playing it anyway. At the end of the day, if I can drop a car on someone from the sky and then proceed to sneak attack them in the face while in a prone position, that's an absolute win for me. They'll never see it coming. Anyway, like the video, share it with your friends, post your best Bobby % speedruns in the comments. That kid looks weird, he belongs outside the city walls. We should all get together and remove his bones.